Hello and welcome to Jobbing. Today I'm your host for the day, Raymond Muriquin. This is Active. The day has come for the start of the much anticipated 2018 FIFA World Cup, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, bringing different nations together for one thing in common, which is the love of soccer. Now, we take a look at 5 African countries that will be representing our continent in no particular order. Starting off with Egypt, also known as the Pharaohs, with the World Cup ranking of 45th. The Pharaohs will be making their third appearance in the World Cup. They're coming to the tournament as the most successful African nation in terms of continental titles, winning a record of 7 African Cup of Nations trophies, with the star being other than Liverpool's Mohamed Salah. Second on the list, we've got Tunisia, also known as the Eagles of Carthage. A world ranking of 21st, they'll be making their 5th appearance as they come as the highest ranked African side after a very impressive run in 2017. All eyes will be on Wabu Kazari, who plays for League One club Rennes on loan from Sutherland. Up next is Nigeria, also known as the Super Eagles, with a world ranking of number 48. The Super Eagles come into the tournament for their 6th appearance and stand as favourites as Africa's best chance of winning a World Cup, with a star-studded team with players who play in the European big teams. For example, we've got Arsenal's Alex Iwobi. Fourth on the list is Morocco, who actually lost a bid to host the 2026 World Cup, will be coming to the tournament with a world ranking of number 41. The Lions of Atlas will be making their 5th appearance in the tournament with a mission of being the very first African country to win the World Cup. All eyes will be on Yunus Berhanda, who plays for Galatasaray, a Turkish-based football club. Last and not least on our list, we've got Senegal, also known as the Lions of Teranga, with a stunning World Cup ranking of being number 27, who will be playing the World Cup for the 2nd time. And guess what? They're actually the team that actually eliminated our very own Bafana Bafana in the 2017 qualifiers to secure the spot in the tournament, with the leading players such as Sadio Mane. Now, we went to the streets to find out which African country people will be rooting for and the expectations for the World Cup.
Yeah, I'll be watching it definitely. This is a must-see one. I'll be at Dreadlocks.
I'm going to be watching the World Cup, preferably from the comfort of my own couch. But if I'm linked up with friends, then, you know, it's a vibe.
At home, most likely, or at a bar, maybe, between those two. Yeah, depending on how big the game is.
I know a lot of people are swaying towards Brazil because of Neymar's return. But I feel like, you know, when you have one player specifically who is looked at to basically save the whole team, it won't work out. So I generally think that it's either going to be a Spain or Germany thing, because I feel like they work well as like units instead of depending on single stars to take them to the heights of soccer.
I'm going for the underdogs. I think it's going to stay in Europe. Probably like Spain or France, between those two. Yeah, Spain or France.
And why? Why do you think them?
Because they're used to the conditions. You know, they play Champions League football week in, week out, so they're used to the conditions. Yeah.
Most likely Brazil and Spain might do their thing. Wow, which African cup is going there to just fight? Okay, Egypt. I'm gonna go with Egypt.
I've seen Nigeria have a buzz, so I know they're there. Egypt, Tunisia. I think I've heard they come in as favorites.
Well, I'm rooting for Egypt. Yeah.
I was hoping that Egypt might go far in this because of that Salah thing, you know. Hopefully niggas can give him service, you know, and score the goals. But I think Egypt might just take it there.
Probably Senegal. They probably go for maybe last 16. They got good players. I mean, we played against them and we lost, so I'm going for those guys that beat us.